broccoli bed. You can see that I really heavily mulched it down with some straw just because I hate to weed, although obviously through there the grass is sometimes never ending. That's why I really want to get the raised beds built. But you know, something you may not know is Jonathan and I have taken on this house and this small homesteading dream, and we're trying to do it debt free. So we are building everything and remodeling everything without taking on any extra loans beyond the actual home loan that we took to purchase it. So I bought the tools to build this trellis with the money from selling eggs and a few little plant starts. And that is sort of just my plan. Use whatever I can find and whatever I can sell from here to make money to put back into here. So the dream of the raised beds is probably gonna be a little bit longer realized dream, but I think in the end it'll feel even more hard won. Some of these broccolis, the first ones from this season, they are tall enough that they're probably going to do pretty decent. We'll probably get some good heads off of them. I did plant them a little closer thinking that I was gonna lose more of them than I did, although I'm not complaining. And then the best experiment of the entire year is definitely these peas. And they're blooming. Peas are my favorite. If you have never had fresh peas, you'll never go back. So this looks like it's going to be my best pea harvest ever. Usually I get a good 12 to 18 heads of broccoli per year. This year I put in, I want to say 26. I did put down 6 Romanescos. When the frost came, I left the broccoli and the peas uncovered, kind of seeing what their hardiness was. And the broccoli and the peas did really well. The Romanesco, on the other hand, struggled a little bit more. So I think I'm only gonna have 2 or 3 of those that actually made it through. I am a little frustrated with my trellising over here. You can see this big gap. All of the peas from this side have reached over to this side and we are branching out past this trellis. So next year I think I'll go in with some chicken wire or something inside the A-frame. I'm thinking that maybe the gap between these posts was just too wide for my little tendrils to grab onto, and I also wasn't terribly delicate about training them up. So lessons learned, I suppose. It's one of my favorite things I think about the garden. There's always a lesson, or at least when you screw something up, you can pretend you're learning a lesson. I guess it makes it hurt a little bit less whenever I fail at something, to just be like, oh, well, now I know better. I don't know. Do you guys feel that way? Do you feel like, I don't know, the failures seem like they are lower pressure in the garden to me than they are like at work or obviously with your kids. Those are some pretty high pressure failures. But out here, you know, the plants just do what the plants do, and you know, we can help them, but they're still gonna grow. So even when I suck and I don't train my peas and I don't plan my trellis right, I'm still coming out with food in the end. So I don't know. I kind of like that it seems so much less like a big deal all the time. Just realized that there's like 3 things that I've planted that aren't even on my plan. I'm gonna have to figure out where to put those. It's gonna be really full this year. I'm gonna go sit and brainstorm and drink some water. and then we'll work on getting some things in the dirt. All right, guys, so I messed up and I got really overzealous when I was seeding things. So now I have cantaloupes and watermelons and at least one kind of bean that are not in my original garden plan, and the space is small. Like, it's small. So, I'm gonna try something. Which is pretty much always my reaction to, uh-oh, I've screwed up. But I like to call it being fluid. Makes me feel better about how often I screw up. So we have these A-frames that came off of the chicken coop because we had a wonderful idea for a tractoring coop, and it was too heavy to be moved by itself. So it is in the process of being reimagined right now also. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take these two A-frames and put these two, that one's not my smallest one, talking and doing, and inevitably it'll take once or twice, but anyway, I'm going to take these slats and put together the two A-frames. Delilah's squeaking her toy at us. I'm going to take these slats and use them to hold together the two A-frames and cover the A-frames with some wire. I have a few different rolls of wire over there that were on the property whenever we purchased it. I have some that I've bought for projects over the years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that wire and cover the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to plant my butternut squash on either side and grow them up the wire, and then in theory that gives me the ground space underneath them, as long as I can put something there that will, you know, tolerate a little bit of shade. I do think that I can successfully grow some cantaloupe down there. So since I didn't put the cantaloupe in the original plan, they're gonna go underneath this new trellis-ish thing. And we're just gonna see. sun's about to start going down, and I have completely neglected my mother duties of making dinner tonight. So we're gonna take a look at what's done here. This would be the little A-frame that I just put together. I've got the butternut squash on either side. So I did 2 on each end. So I'm thinking that's gonna give them each enough growth space up these trellises. And then I just did 2 cantaloupes down in there. And in theory, I'm going to wind them in on themselves so that they kind of stay underneath there, and then eventually we'll let them kind of run out. This tray right here is the pintos that I wanted to put in today, but I am 1 T-post short of building another one of these 16-foot trellises. So I'm gonna have to get one of those tomorrow. And I have this old tomato cage, but that's 12 pinto plants. Cause I feel like I get like 1 meal every 2 plants. So that's like 6 meals for the family, which is not an incredible amount. But the pintos aren't really their favorite, so it's not a big deal. So this isn't gonna be big enough. I got it in the ground, I sat down to put the plants in, and then I was super disappointed in it, and it's just not gonna be big enough to hold them. So the rain is coming tomorrow, and I am just going to leave them out here in the sun and the rain. They're getting pretty tall, but if I lose those, nobody but me is gonna be sad. And then these are the lima beans. I started those in the gutters, just like I did our very happy peas over here. And it went just as smoothly with the limas. They have a hardier root system at this size, so it was a little harder for me to get it to slide out, but it went super easy and super well. So next year you will probably see me seeding all of my legumes that way. It was so nifty. There are 2 Romanescos, 3. 1, 2, and then 3 that I have in the middle of this. But my thought is if they get shaded out by the limas, they'll probably like it because it's getting so hot right now. And I'm gonna be lucky if they produce anything anyway, and I'm gonna be really sad if I waste that space. And the limas are gonna take so much longer to get big that I'll know whether or not I need to kind of sacrifice those Romanescos. I was really excited about those this year though, so it's gonna take a lot to get me to give those up. Just a lot. Anywho, I'm sort of rambling on. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend and happy growing.